Karen Elliott House, former publisher of the Wall Street Journal, one of the world's foremost experts in Saudi Arabia, is with us now. Ma'am, I appreciate it. The Saudis seem like they're really going to hold out a pretty high price here for the Biden administration to get any help.
Yeah, I think they are, because in my 40 years of going there, and Saudi-U.S. relations have gone up and down in those 40 years, but never as far down as now. Calling Saudi Arabia a pariah state insults all Saudis, and obviously refusing to talk to the Crown Prince insults the government of Saudi Arabia. So as one Saudi official said to me, everything Biden could do wrong, he's done wrong. And I think that is sadly the truth. And now he needs them.
Well, right. And for a long time, the Saudis over the past 4 or 5 years have been having a world of hurt financially because oil prices had crashed during the pandemic. Now they've got us over a barrel, no pun intended. Saudi Arabia only gives us 7% of our oil. The Saudis have recently raised some of their oil prices between $2 to $5 a barrel. But why is the U.S.-Saudi relationship so much more than just 7%?
Well, we fortunately are not that dependent on oil imports, thanks to fracking in this country and under President Trump becoming the world's largest oil producer. But the world needs oil, and if there is a shortage of it, as there is now because of Russian oil being off the market, and Russia and Saudi are the two other large oil producers, then prices go up. The Saudis can raise their oil price now because I was told again in Saudi Arabia while I was there the past 2 weeks that the Russians are discounting their oil 75% and can't find buyers. So with the shortage, the price, it's the law of supply and demand, the price rises.
Do you understand?
And thus our price rises.
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to figure out why the Biden administration is quite literally cutting off its nose despite its face here. U.S. actions to upset the Saudis: renewed the Iran deal talks. The Saudis and the Iranians are arch enemies. Cut arms sales. Didn't send Patriot missiles to protect Saudi Arabia against the Houthis in Yemen. Didn't send F-35 jets. On the other hand, Saudi Arabia won't increase oil production. Record on the human rights abuses. Obviously, the Khashoggi murder, which was before President Biden's time. What exactly is it about the Saudis that so sort of angers the Biden administration that they're willing to do things that clearly are not in America's best interests?
I think the Democrats, by and large, the progressive wing, but Democrats in general, don't like Saudi Arabia for its human rights record, even though they seem perfectly happy to do a new nuclear deal with Iran, whose human rights record is vastly worse than Saudi Arabia. So human rights is one issue. And then in the Democratic Party, there are a lot of climate worshipers who say we don't want oil. We should be reducing oil production, so Saudi Arabia should reduce production, not increase production. They don't bother to think that
it's confounding.
Until there's green energy, you have to have some dirty energy.
Yeah, it's confounding to me, especially because, you know, you think about the Chinese human rights abuses that are far worse than anything the Saudis do. I wanted to get your thought on this real quick before we go. We got about 30 seconds. Oil executives on Capitol Hill tomorrow. Exxon, Chevron, BP, and Shell all being called up to talk about the price of oil. Obviously, we've heard from the White House and from some liberal senators saying they want price controls. They're worried about excessive profits and the like. Are we to expect any of these guys are going to come out swinging about the domestic oil production and issues that you talked about?
I would assume they all will. I mean, if President Biden is serious, he should be calling for conservation now. Use less energy, not blaming Saudi Arabia, the U.S. oil industry, everybody for the fact that his policies have brought high oil prices. Conserve, use less. That's the only way to try to reduce the price.
Tying this all together, if the U.S. were to really embrace the Saudis once again, I know that your piece that you just wrote talked about a potential visit during Ramadan over to Saudi Arabia by President Biden. What can the Saudis do for us in the next 45 to 60 days that would really change things vis-a-vis Ukraine?
Well, they could help. By increasing oil production. They could help the world. I don't think that particularly helps Ukraine. But the Saudis, if the Saudi oil goes off because we don't protect that country, and Houthi missiles from Iran hit Saudi Arabia, knock out oil facilities, the Saudis want a plan with the U.S. to protect them and Israel and other Gulf countries from Iranian mischief.
Yeah. No,
and the Iranians have every...
Yeah, no, you make a great point, because the Iranians have every vested interest in taking out Saudi oil production and raising the price of oil, thus making it easier for the Iranians to pump more and sell more.
And making the Saudis poor enough that they hope their government falls, you know. I mean,
that's a good point.
Iran is out to get rid of Saudi.
Yeah, it's the only counterweight. It was a great conversation. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Leila.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.